I got a call from Security Metrics today, and they wanted to talk to me about my PCI compliance. And I was like, my what?
Why are they calling you? Why is Security Metrics calling you at all? Were you expecting this call?
I'm sure it was fine. They said uh, his name was, I don't remember his name, but he called and he just asked for my social security number, my date of birth, my mother's maiden name.
Yeah.
And I gave it to him. I just said, yeah, here. And then asked for my IP address so he could access my computer remotely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All that jollity aside, why
Yeah.
was Security Metrics calling you?
Well, because they had been sending me emails about PCI compliance, which I didn't think I needed to do because I used QuickBooks. And I thought QuickBooks handles all that for me, but they don't. They team up with Security Metrics. And I did check to make sure it was actually Security Metrics.
Yeah, Security Metrics is a well-known company for PCI compliance.
I checked. They told me what my member ID was at QuickBooks, and I had them send me an email from securitymetrics.com, which I replied to, and they got it. And then I was like, okay, well, probably good.
Yeah.
But then, and now I have to like answer a questionnaire, and and they're like, so do all the people in your company have a passcode or a key to a secured area that is off-site for all documents that contain credit card information?
Make sure you're filling out the right one. These are called SAQs, which are self-assessment questionnaires. And when I was doing this, it was the SAC A, the SAC B, the SAC C, and the SAC D. And the key dividing line is whether it was a card not present or a card present transaction. And I can't really remember it off the top of my head because it's been a decade.
Yeah.
But there's a big difference. Like the SAC A is 2 pages and the SAC D is 70 or 50
that's the
pages.
one I'm doing. Yeah, that's the one I'm
you're not a
out.
SAC. You're not a SAC D.
I am not. I have no SAC.
No, you're probably at best a SAC C. And I think there's one that they had was sort of like SAC B and a half or something like that. But if you want to check with me later,
I'm a half SAC, I think. That's what I am. Half SAC.
You're in the SAC. You get hacky SAC. SAQ, self-assessment questionnaire. But if honestly, if it becomes a Spilka's situation for you, call me and let's look at it together, because I did these for my universities for like a decade. And the key thing is getting the lowest level SAC you can get away with, because they really ramp up. But it's like if all you've got is like, a scanner, a single scanner.
Don't even have that.
Right. Like if you know a scanner, if it's all like online and people are entering their stuff online.
They're entering it themselves, and sometimes they call me.
That's like a B, I think. But talk to me about it, because
I told them all this. I told them. And and then I paid the money. And they kept asking, and then I paid them more money to get them to stop, and they wouldn't stop.
Are you being serious, or are you joking?
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. I did pay them money.
Why?
Literally, because it's like it costs money to get like PCI compliant.
It is? It
does?
I
know, right? It does.
Okay, this sounds weird to me.
It really is Security Metrics.
Okay, fine, whatever.
Yeah, not a lot of money.
You let me know, but I've done this before. I'll be glad to help.
Universities might be exempt.
No. We had to fill out.
No, but universities from paying for, they have like training every year that you have to, do, and I think it's changed. I remember
via
going through
QuickBooks.
Via Security Metrics.
Why is Security Metrics involved in this at all? How do you take? We'll talk about this later. Honestly, well, honestly, really, this is going to just annoy people.
We have one live listener.
We do?
Right now.
Who is it? Don't tell the name. What?
It's D. That's all I can see. D.
Okay.
Nothing in chat. Just D.
Okay.
It might be D the robot. I have no idea.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe D can send us a message. Maybe it's my brother Damien. I don't know.
Could be.
Yeah.
Is Damien on Patreon?
I sincerely doubt.
We do live cast, or I like to call it narrowcast the podcast to Patreon for our Patreon subscribers, because we are an independent podcast and we do not run ads, and stuff costs money, and it is really useful, if you like this podcast, for you to become a Patreon subscriber. Now, the Patreon is under my name, Jim Infantino, and there's a link at funnynotfunny.net that you can follow to get there and sign up. A little contribution a month can really help us keep these going. Not that you necessarily want us to. Hi, Doug. It's Doug. Doug's in the live.
Hi, Doug.
All by himself.
Beware of Doug.
I think I'm getting the hang of this, Doug. I mean, it's a little inconsistent. I'm hoping that in the future it will be more predictable, and it will also, actually go live.
But, Doug, you are our official canary in the coal mine.
That's right.
Congratulations. Welcome to the team.
Welcome, Doug.
Welcome, Doug.
The latest, yeah, go ahead. Yes. So go.
So you and I, this is a preface to a bigger topic, but you and I are reading Steinbeck's East of Eden.
Yes, we are.
And as we discussed, it's a big book.
It really is.
And a lot happens in it. You can't just like blow through it.
No.
And it's a heavy book.
It's not a casual read.
It's not a casual read. It is not. It's a heavy book, and in many ways, very uncomfortable read.
Yeah.
There's stuff that definitely is not in line with modern sensibilities.
Oh, yeah.
But in other ways, it's very much in line with today's sensibilities. He's
in amazing ways. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's racism. Steinbeck comes off a little racist at the beginning when he's describing Salinas and the history of Salinas.
Yep.
But then the voice changes with the voice of the characters later, which is very strange.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure how far you are into the.
But I don't want to go too deeply into this because the point I want to make is that we're going to talk about East of Eden.
Yes.
And it's a heavy lift. It's a heavy lift, and it's not a happy book. And it's a heavy lift. No. And last night, I watched a movie that I'd heard so much about. And this is one of those times when you hear so much about a movie and it's all that in a bag of chips. And I was absolutely taken away by this movie. In the Mood for Love by Wong Kar-Wai, or I'm probably murdering his name. Hong Kong cinema.
Yeah, Hong Kong cinema.
Hong Kong cinema. The movie takes place in 1962 in Hong Kong. And I got to say, it's one of the most, it's just a really exquisite film. And of course, the Criterion Channel, good old Criterion Channel, like choked on bandwidth like 20 minutes before the end. So I have yet to watch like the last 20 minutes.
And you pay for that, right? That's a paid service, the Criterion. Yeah, maybe I'll subscribe. Like I need another subscription, but that would
I'll get it for you because Bob got me the Bob bought me the subscription for $99 because Bob,
it's a pay it forward.
Yeah, Bob is determined. He wants me to watch Bellatar's stuff, and I'm not going to do it. It's just it's pointless. He said after we watched the two Lynn Ramsey films, Bob says, "Well, you got to watch. We need to talk about Kevin because that's totally messed up compared to the two." I
actually do want to see that. Yeah, I do want. I'm going to kind of grit and bear it. Hey, when I put up my hand, it means we have a comment from a live viewer.
Oh my God!
You can ignore it, and then I'll come in with it later. But regarding East of Eden, the question is, don't trust the narrator? Is it that we don't trust the narrator? I'm not sure that that's really the case with East of Eden. I think the narrator is trustworthy. There's just something strange in the beginning that kind of caught me in 2026 that he wrote probably in 1926.
No, the book was written in 1952.
Oh, good God. Well, yeah, that was it. And you know what? Even for then, what he wrote in the beginning about the history of Salinas
was revolutionary.
Well, no, I mean, there's just one line about First Nations. He seems to have a disdain.
No, the Indians take it on the chin. The blacks take it on the chin. The Asians take it on the chin. I mean, but at the same time, they don't.
Right.
He calls out injustices and broadcasts them pretty clearly. I mean, I don't know whether the comment was an admonishment, a warning to us not to trust the narrator.
It was a question. Don't trust the narrator? Question.
The narrator is very opinionated.
Yeah,
and the narrator has a very strong voice. There's these little interstitial chapters between the main blocks of the book where the narrator just talks straight at you.
That's true. Yeah.
And then they're a hayride. They're only like 3 pages long, but he really lays into you and really delivers a lot. It's kind of hard to talk about unless you've read it. I think.
Well, and Lionel, you haven't finished it, right? So we're going to do the next episode probably.
No.
That maybe if you finish it by the next time we record, we'll talk about the full book.
But I found out what we're going to do. Another episode. We've queued up another episode.
Yeah.
We're going to do 2 films by Wong Kar-Wai.
Okay.
However his name is pronounced.
I saw In the Mood for Love, and I'll watch it again. It's been a long time, actually, since
it's just so beautiful. It's just like the film equivalent of like Prelude to the Afternoon of a Faun. It's a lush, intoxicating film. The female lead is so achingly beautiful. It's mind blowing. It's just and it's
I'll watch it again.
Yeah. And I'll get you the subscription to it. But the Criterion people they need to unplug their Toaster oven and plug in another set of disk drives, because every time I watch something of them, I get some kind of disk error off of them. The Criterion people of all people, you'd think they would be the people who have it together. But I think they're whatever. Who knows? But but I was just so, because it's fun, it's wonderful, and it's relaxing. It's not like East of Eden, which is not a relaxing book.
No, I loved it though.
I love it.
Do you know who recommended? So a strange thing happened to me in terms of how it all came together was that Carmel, when I was out in Carmel in Monterey and Carmel were like blacked out, right? Everything south of Monterey was blacked out.
Electricity, you mean?
Windstorm. Yeah, no electricity for the day before Christmas Eve, Christmas, and the day after Christmas. So for 4 days, we had no electricity. And, we did Christmas by candlelight. It was actually
killed each other.
Charming. And then after I dropped off the kids at the airport and kicked them in the butts and said, get out of here. My phone was failing and I feel like I was missing some of my clients. I have a web design business and I felt like some of my clients were trying to reach me and I couldn't really respond to them. So I'm like, I need a new phone. So I couldn't go to Monterey to get it because they're blacked out. So the nearest place to get the next phone for me was Salinas. And so my mom and I got in the car and we drove to Salinas. And while we were there, mom's like, you know what we have to eat? We have to eat some In-N-Out burgers. I'm like, you don't seem like an In-N-Out burger kind of person. And she was like, oh no, they're the best. And she was right. They're really good. And then we went to the T-Mobile store because I'm a T-Mobile guy. And then I, picked out an iPhone and I got it set up, but it took a long time. So we drove around, we kind of saw some. We didn't go to the museum. We didn't do the 2 things that I think you can do in Salinas. But we got a kind of a sense of the town. And everybody was really nice. Everybody was very polite. And I wrote a song called Might As Well Go to Salinas, or that's the chorus, but it's called In Salinas. And as soon as I got back home, Dar Williams calls me up and says, you know what book you really have to read? East of Eden. I'm like, well, that's weird because I was just in Salinas. And the book is absolutely, it's not really a love story to the Salinas Valley, but
it begins with Salinas. Yeah, it's in the first sentence.
Yeah. And
it's the first word.
It's disorienting because you think you're going to stay in Salinas, but you're also Connecticut. You're also in New England, Connecticut, and all these other places. And it takes place, around wars and incursions, and you do eventually end up in the Salinas Valley, which was unforgiving in a lot of ways for the farmers there, and you get a lot of that. So anyway, that's how it all started, and that's why I read it, and that's why I said you really need to read it. It's
and
just
I am,
a
and it's
monumentally good book.
But I said in contrast to that, it's a lift. I mean, you got to work at it. You don't have to work at In the Mood for Love. You just got to sit there and keep your eyes open. It was just such a wonderful thing. The music is fabulous. The photography is mind blowing, and the people are so beautiful. And there's, it's not challenge. It's not meant to challenge.
The suits are nice.
It's like Mad Men.
Yeah.
It's like,
everyone's
but she's wearing these absolutely skin tight Chong Sam skirts. I mean, it's just, oh my, it pushes every button on the planet with me. And she's just an exquisitely beautiful person. And they pose her, you can tell they spent hours exactly how she's going to lean against this brick wall.
Yeah.
And it's just absolutely gorgeous. And some great acting too. I mean, there's one scene, once you've seen it again, I'll talk to you. There's one scene, because you think, they're just beautiful people, being posed around stuff. And it's not. It's a really heavy film. And there's one point where she does this great, but I won't say any more than that. So what do you have on your list? What else?
Well, interesting. I've been watching Fallout with Zoe, and we have a blast with that show. And it's disgusting and obscene and really funny. And the last episode, second to last episode of the second season we saw, and afterwards, I've never seen Zoe say anything like this before. My oldest got up and said, I think that was the best television I've ever watched. That was an incredible episode. That was maybe one of the best episodes of TV I've ever seen. And I was like, that's cool. You've actually seen, it's not like they watch TV all the time, but I love that they watch critically.
Yeah.
And then they went on to describe like the way the opening character, the whole backstory of the character that it opens with is explained, and it's really compelling, and you really understand that that character was not kind of a device as a bad person. There's a whole reason behind what they're doing, and the ominousness, and they said that at the end there's like a severed head. And they were like, I don't usually get grossed out by things like that, but that was really gross and disgusting, and it really shocked me. I'm like, wow,
you're engaged.
It's a very good show. And it's all based on a game, and it's left the whole plot of the game entirely because I don't know, the game was very popular, Fallout, and had a number of versions by Ubisoft maybe, but I tried Fallout 3, and it's just bleak and it goes on forever, and it's impossible. But that partially because
like life.
Yeah. Like life. It's a metaphor.
Speaking of which, I read an article today in the New York Times. Let's talk about bleak goes on forever.
Oh. All right.
I was waiting for the scientists to come forward and say this. The New York Times was talking about the scientific group that came forward. They did a huge longitudinal study of study twins. There's always these twin studies where they study the twins that are separated at birth and stuff like that. They did this huge study where they studied Danish kids, Danish twins from 1950, blah, 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 blah. And basically what they said is, in today's world, when you're going to die is pretty much 50% your genes. If you keep your nose really clean, you might add another 5 years. And if you're a real screw up with your health, you might suck 5 years off the end. But honestly, he says, if genes say you're going to live to 80, you're going to live to 80. Maybe you push it to 85 if you live like a monk. And if you're a complete libertine, maybe you'll go out at 75. But it's basically set in your bones. I was like, amen. Thank you. At least now
that's great.
We got that cleared up.
Let's go to the In-N-Out Burger,
Let's go. Where's my cigars?
Yeah.
Where's my In-N-Out Burger? So I thought that was, speaking of bleak.
On that note.
What else did I look at? We talked about East of Eden. Oh, interesting thing. I watched a rather trite and superficial piece of crap on Amazon called Steel because Amazon insisted on sticking in my face every time I pushed a button. They said, "Did you watch Steel yet?" So I watched Steel.
The annoying friend.
I just
Amazon, my annoying friend.
Oh my God, Amazon. Yeah, let's watch the Melania documentary. Don't talk to me about that. I'm seriously thinking about canceling. Like, I mean, I really don't. But anyway, that's a whole other discussion altogether.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about Steel, if you ever do decide to watch it because you've been pinned here, you've been bound to a chair and you can't reach the remote, and somebody's put it on Amazon. I kept thinking about how it's like Morver and Caller.
Oh, interesting.
It's a person who has what everybody regards as sort of a low-level dead-end job in this company, who is put into exceptional circumstances and needs to survive and needs to succeed. It's very interesting how they treated that thing, and also to a certain degree. Not really, but Kathy Ames a little bit.
Okay.
Like people who are people who see the world clearly and manipulate the world to their effect. But I don't know. I don't think that's because, again, that comes back to that whole thing. We never talked about this online, but you and I had a private conversation because when we spoke with our guest about Morver and Calar, which was the movie by Lynn Ramsey,
the
Adam
word Chartoff,
Adam Chartoff, the word sociopath or psychopath made an appearance. I don't think Morven Calar is at all a sociopath or a psychopath. And I want to talk about this again because the opening scene, remember, is her lying next to her dead boyfriend, and caressing his body.
You wonder, like, did she kill him or something? But no.
We don't know. Well, no, he didn't. No, she didn't because he left the note on the computer. So she didn't. So she's not heartless. She's not a Kathy Ames.
Right. Okay.
She's not that. Yeah. Right. Not Kathy Ames. And also, I thought, I think it's very significant, that scene where she goes to the ATM and Lynn Ramsey very clearly displays the amount of money in the bank account. Because remember, and I think this to me, this is my interpretation of the movie, is that the boyfriend killed. So sorry, spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The boyfriend kills
right at the beginning of the film. Yeah.
It's right at the beginning of the film. Boyfriend kills himself, leaves a mess, leaves only enough money in the bank account to like cover his funeral.
Right.
And then basically leaves her to-do list and says, please send my manuscript to this stuff. And she's going to have to deal with all this crap for like a year. She's going to have to deal with his parents, and deal with everybody, and deal with it. And she probably has to move out of the apartment because he's left her with nothing other than the money to cover his funeral.
Right.
So she's going to lose that apartment because it was a nice apartment. And she just makes a very cool and clear and calm decision, which is, yeah, you know what? I'll take the book and I'll take the money for your funeral. I love you.
And I'll chop you up in the bathtub.
But you're dead.
Yeah, it's true.
You're dead. And
and that was the thing that Adam said that made people say she's a sociopath, is that she could do that. So
I think that's a good point.
Question, is it that, but is it that she's a sociopath, or is it that she had the capacity to do that? I mean, it's not nice to basically say your boyfriend's not dead. He's just out. Right. I don't know where he went. He left.
Well, she admits it to Lana.
Yeah, true.
She says he's dead, but Lana's not listening. But she certainly doesn't tell the parents, and she doesn't tell anybody else.
Right. So, and she types her name on the manuscript. I mean, that's
right.
And this is all in the trailer.
She's not a lovable character.
No. Oh, no.
But I think there's a vast country between lovable and sociopath.
Yeah.
I think you can be. I think the land of unlovable is a broad and fertile land, and I think, again, it's a movie, it's a piece of fiction, so
yeah. Well, it's an interesting character, and Samantha Morton is just amazing. She's astonishing.
She never frowns.
Yeah.
Like I talked to you, it's like Buster Keaton. He never smiles. Bob turned me on to that. Buster Keaton never smiles.
Right.
I was like, yeah, of course. Of course of course. That's why those movies feel that way. Yeah. He never smiles. She never frowns. And she never yells and she never gets angry. And she never gets exasperated. She's never sarcastic. She's not sarcastic. She's not exasperated.
Yeah.
She's nothing. She's just getting along. She's happy. Sometimes she's
out,
yeah. And so food for thought. Yeah. Food for thought. Interesting, the connection between that and Ratcatcher. You have two fundamentally unreadable main characters. Like James in Ratcatcher is basically unreadable. Like he gives you no real, very rarely does he give any sense of his internal state of mind, at least in terms of words.
I thought that Lynn wrote him very much as a realistic 10-year-old. It's really it's a coming of age story. It's just not a happy one.
Yeah.
And he's very realistic for a 10-year-old, which strangely, of course, a 10-year-old will just kind of go to the next thing, right? Okay, what's the next thing? Without exhibiting all of the adult angst and Sturm und Drang and all of the other stuff. I think that you can read on him some hint of regret for what happens to his friend in the beginning. But he's not capable of really grasping his responsibility or role in it. He's 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought it was really well done. I really liked Ratcatcher, and I know you really liked Morven Collarmore, I think.
Oh, yeah. No, much more than Ratcatcher. So anyway, but we're going to do, you pick the other Wong Kar-Wai film. He did a whole bunch that are very highly regarded. Well, he didn't do a whole bunch. He did like 3 or 4 that are very highly regarded. So you pick the other one.
All right.
But I want to do, he's our next movie director. And if Adam wants to come back and talk to us about Wong.
It's a great idea.
Yeah. I'm totally cool with that. Or if somebody else wants to get on here and start shouting at us about Wong. But I really, it's such a creamy, dreamy film. Yeah. So Bob was bothering me and Bob says, you have to watch, we need to talk about Kevin by Lynn Ramsey. And he says, I also want you to watch Satan Tango, which is the 8-hour film by Bela Tarr, who just died.
Why is he doing this to you? I thought he was
Bob?
Your friend. Yeah.
Yeah, and what I said to him is, I said, you and I are going to make a film called We Need to Talk About Satan Tango, which is going to be the story of a dysfunctional 30-year relationship between 2 grown men, one of whom keeps insisting on recommending ridiculously over-the-top, unpleasant, overlong films to the other one, and the other one keeps refusing. So we need to talk about Satan Tango. But Bella just died, and people fall over themselves talking about how great Bela Tarr is.
Okay.
But I think his shortest film is 3 hours long.
Wow.
And Satan Tango, I think, is 8.
8-hour film. My God.
Oh, they're in black and white.
Okay.
And he's a big fan of like 20-minute long shots with no words, just like following somebody for like 20 minutes. I mean, I'm sure it's great.
Is it just a face staring at the camera for 8 hours or something?
It's really intense. I mean, it's sort of like Lynn Rams with all the fun bits.
Removed. That sounds great. That can't wait.
Bring it.
When am I going to find 8 hours to watch a movie? That's a really good. I mean, where does anybody find 8 hours to watch a movie?
We should bring Bob on because and then he made, I forget but he made The Turin Horse, which is his last movie.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, I'm done. I'm not making any more movies. They said, what do you mean? He said,
have made it shorter.
He said, Turin Horse is my last movie. He says, after you make a movie like Turin Horse, there's no reason for me to make any more movies.
Wow.
Really, really interesting guy. But yeah, that's a huge investment of time. in something. But the other thing I watched, and we could also do this director too, although it's been overdone quite a number of times, is Werner Herzog, right?
Of course.
And have you seen like Aegir, Wrath of God, and
I have.
Fitzcarraldo?
Yes.
Okay, so that the main character in those films is played by an actor called Klaus Kinski.
Yes.
Who looks like a fucking alien.
Yeah. Yeah.
Who's a madman. And Klaus Kinski and Werner Herzog made a film about his relationship with Klaus Kinski called My Best Fiend.
I saw it.
Oh, you saw My Best Fiend?
Yeah, I did. I saw My Best Fiend. And I think it was Adam Scharter who recommended that I see it, as a matter of fact. Yeah.
I love that film.
It's a great film. Yeah,
it's a great film because you know what I realized after a while? When did you watch that?
It wasn't that long ago. It was, I think, oh man, I don't know. It might have been a year ago or so. Yeah.
I love that film because the great thing can I tell you what? I'm sorry, I know I'm sort of rattling on.
No, go ahead.
But I have a
Doug is still hanging on, by the way.
Does Doug want to say anything?
Doug I think he's pounding his head against the wall at this. It's not showing up in the chat, but I'm just picturing it.
The best part of My Best Fiend is at the end. Werner, I love that whole thing where he's talking to the husband and wife who now live in the place where he grew up. And they're impeccable and beautiful and obviously very wealthy. And when he lived there, it was basically a slum. Really interesting. That's a fabulous scene. But the real key to the whole thing, I love the thing where Werner Herzog says, well, I came up over several months, I came up with a plan with burning Klaus's house with him inside of it.
That's right.
I'd come up with a distinct plan.
He was sick of it. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But then near the end, Werner him and a photographer are looking at like a photo gallery, like a photo show, a gallery show of photographs.
Mm-hmm.
And they're talking about this stuff. And Klaus is nowhere to be found. And the photographer points at one picture in Fitzcarraldo, and they start talking about Fitzcarraldo. And the photographer said, you could have played Fitzcarraldo. And Werner Herzog goes, oh, thank you, but no. And then the photographer goes, you are Fitzcarraldo.
Yeah. Yeah, literally in the filming of Fitzcarraldo, he is. Yeah.
He is Fitzcarraldo. Yeah. In the filming of Fitzcarraldo, they dragged a boat over the mountain in the Amazon. And then you realize that Werner Herzog is as much of a fiend.
Yeah.
As Klaus Kinski. He just talks a lot quieter. He doesn't wave his hands around, but he's a scary effing dude.
He really is. And Klaus actually in that film, I thought was a lot less scary than you'd imagine he would be. I saw a person who was completely absorbed in his craft and acting. And his whole idea of that the landscape is unimportant and the real landscape is the human face. And that, that literally it could be a face in the camera for 8 hours. And that would be the perfect Klaus Kinski film. And you would just see him like go from rage to love to disgust, and that would be the whole movie, no dialogue, no monologue.
One scene I absolutely love is when they showed Fitzcarraldo, the original version where it's being played by Jason Robards and Mick Jagger.
Yes.
And then they play the scene with just Klaus Kinski doing the scene. It's like, oh my God, it's no contest at all.
Yeah.
It's like Klaus Kinski brings so much electricity to the scene. It's mind-blowing.
Oh yeah, no, he's amazing. He's amazing. I mean, everybody talks about how crazy he was, but the truth is he was a really brilliant actor.
And the thing I love is for Nosferatu, they didn't have to do much.
No.
They just had to shave his head.
Shave his head and put a robe on him and he's done. Ready to go. And he rises up next to the bed,
he's amazing.
Horrifying.
He's amazing.
Horrifying. Yeah. I go ahead.
No, go ahead. What are you?
And this isn't about Klaus Kinski. I really loved the movie Incident at Loch Ness. That's a Werner Herzog film.
It is?
And you probably haven't seen it.
No.
And I can't tell you anything about it.
Okay.
Because that spoils it. The other one is the cave of Frozen Dream, something like that.
He did a lot. Werner did a lot of documentaries.
Yeah, this was a documentary
like one in
about
Australia with the Aborigines, and he did another one in the Democratic Republic, Central African Republic. I mean, he went all over the place. He's insane. He's just as insane, if not more insane, than Klaus Kinski. He just speaks quieter.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and
he's a scary dude.
He has a lovely accent. Adam actually interviewed him. And he couldn't believe it. He was like, I'm interviewing Werner Herzog. And of course he brought up the accent because he just dove straight into it. And but I think actually, Herzog is not a happy interview, but I think they kind of got along in this interview. It was interesting.
It's interesting in acting because he acted, he's done a lot of acting. He acted in
he has done acting. Yeah, he's been in the Star Wars. Yeah, the Star Wars film. Yeah,
yeah. He's
not enough of him in the Mandalorian. I thought they killed him off quick. But
no, but he's scary. I mean, and he's okay to lean into some of those archetypes of, he's okay to lean to like Nazi doctor kind of vibe.
Yeah. Doug says he did a documentary down in Antarctica, which I would love to see.
He did a lot. The Criterion Channel lists like 20 different documentaries.
Nice.
Where the blue ants dream or something like that, where the green ants dream is his documentary about the Aboriginals in Australia and all kinds of problems with land use and stuff like. Yeah, I don't know how much of this I can take. I mean, I've only got like In the Mood for Love. I need like another 5 of those kind of movies to like buffer me against, Satan Tango and, and another Lena Ramsey film.
I would say for a refreshing movie, watch Incident at Loch Ness. Don't read anything about it.
Okay.
Just turn it on and sit back and you'll love it. I mean, especially right after, your Klaus Kinski, Werner Herzog binge. This will be a delight. I guarantee you.
I love how the Amazonian, the indigenous people of the Amazon that were on the film said,
yes.
Do you want us to kill them?
Because that's right. He almost he didn't have to hire them. They would do it for free. And they wanted him dead too.
My God, they're both insane. And I love that whole scene of Klaus Kinski yelling at the cameraman and they're like, shut up. No, you get out. And Klaus at the microphone at the beginning being Jesus and yelling at people. It's just it's great.
Yeah,
it's great.
They finally get the boat over the mountain. And then when they sail it away, it smashes against the opposite shore.
Oh, yeah.
It was a total disaster. And, and they're way over budget.
Yeah, and they're not great movies in the sense that they're really fun to sit there and watch. It's like East of Eden. It's really a chore, but you're just like, man, these people are just. I remember my dad took me to see Aguirre, Wrath of God at like the Coolidge
How old were you?
I was like 12.
No.
And my dad's like, you got to go see. Well, he took me to see Deer Hunter when I was 12.
What?
That completely messed me up.
Yeah.
Aguirre didn't mess me up. I loved Aguirre. I thought Aguirre was really cool because my dad he says, look at this. They're walking down the mountains in Peru. Look at this. And they're doing this and listen to that music. I think that's like Popol Vuh or Tangerine Dream. It's really cool and stuff like that. But with Deer Hunter, man, there's nothing positive in Deer Hunter.
Not a good time.
Not a good time in Deer. Not a first date flick, as Bob Loy likes to say. Yeah. But I remember my dad taking me to see Aguirre, and I thought it was so cool. I thought it was so outrageously
that ending
weird
scene. That ending
with the monkeys.
Monkeys.
And again, he's leaning into that whole, Adolf Hitler thing. You know, I will mate with my daughter, and we will create a new dynasty that will rule over. And then we'll launch war on Hispaniola and own all of South America. It's like
never gives up. Yeah,
goes down swinging.
Yeah.
So,
what's the line from Stripes? Oh, what is was it my name? My name is Jeffrey. If you call me Jeffrey, I'll kill you. No, it's I can't remember. It's the sergeant. He says something like, I can't. I don't want to.
Jeffrey,
I
if you
don't
call
want to
me
get it
Jeff, I'll
wrong.
kill you. The other person says, "Okay, Jeff, take it easy," or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's something like "Take it easy," but the way it's the act. I don't know. Maybe Doug remembers. Probably not.
Okay. Well.
Anyway.
What else do I have on my list here? Morven Callar, DNA equals lifetime, Steel, East of Eden, My Best Fiend, In the Mood for Love. That's it.
We've got a lot.
I'm crapped out. But I'm sure you got some things on your list.
Oh, Incident at Loch Ness is should be on your list.
This is just my list of things for me to bring up as topics to discuss during our sojourn tonight.
Very good.
But what do you bring to the table?
Oh man. I mean, my car is stuck in the snow. I don't have a shovel. I'm stuck in the snow without a shovel. Tomorrow I've got to go to the hardware store
and buy a shovel.
And buy a shovel. I'm not going to Home Depot. I'm not going to Lowe's. I'm going to
You're going local.
Ace. I'm going to an Ace.
Ace is the place.
I live in a little neighborhood with 2 hardware stores within 2 blocks of each other.
Wow.
And they're both Ace. No, one's True Value and one's Ace.
Ooh.
That is, that not every place has that anymore. So, yeah.
I gotta do some comparative price shopping. Hey, the Ace guy at the streets.
Right. And I was told by my friend Justin when I moved in here, he goes, all right, there's 2 hardware stores. You got to pick one. He goes, the whole town is divided between who goes to Ace and who goes to True Value. But yeah, I mean, hopefully they'll still have shovels when I get there. But otherwise, I'm stuck. Can't go shopping.
Can't you borrow? Don't you have neighbors? Don't you have a landlord that you can borrow a shovel? I mean, shovels.
I borrowed a shovel from a neighbor. I did already. And then I shoveled until I thought maybe I was going to have a coronary, and I stopped, which I think is the smart thing to do at my age. And then,
yeah, as I told you, I have a Fitbit. And every now and then, like when I'm shoveling snow, the Fitbit will say, "I've called the paramedics. They should be here in 2 minutes. Please charge your AED paddles starting now."
Put on some clean underwear. No, I don't. Fallout. I don't know if you can stomach it. It's on Prime. Maybe try the first episode. It's really it's a really interesting series. I mean, just know that it's trying to gross you out and freak you out. But there's something really wonderful about it. The game, I mean, a lot of it takes from the game, and the game has this kind of 1950s. It's like the big boy restaurants.
Yeah,
there's a lot of the imagery of instead it's a Pip Boy, and the Pip Boy it's like if in the 1950s they had 2050 technology, but it all looked like 1950s technology.
Right. And the world of the future today.
Yeah, exactly. They're living in the world of the future. And then, of course, things go horribly wrong. And then it becomes this nightmare apocalypse wasteland. But even that is handled pretty lightly. It's really good. So that's my recommendation.
I started watching, I think I watched it for like 15 minutes because I think maybe Lily recommended it or something like that. And after 15 minutes, but I'll take another crack at it.
Try a little more, yeah.
I'm going to finish. I got to keep my strength up for East of Eden.
That's, of course. That's
talk about shoveling snow. That's the one where you need to be wearing your Fitbit when you read that one.
Yeah.
You got to pace yourself on that one because
I found it. I listened on audiobook, so maybe that's a different experience. But I couldn't wait to listen to the next chapter. I mean, I haven't had that happen to me for a long time, where I was like reading and I wanted to get back to that book. I don't know what it was. It was the characters. It was the observations. Anyway. We can talk more about his observations about human nature because I think there's a lot of them. And we could easily do 2 episodes on East of Eden. It's just It's just an astonishing book, but I want you to finish it first.
What's interesting is that no good movie was ever made of it.
There's one coming out. I think I saw one is coming out.
But it's not the kind of thing where you want a movie.
I did binge a series. Did I mention this? The Last Kingdom.
No,
The Last Kingdom.
That's the spinoff from Game of Thrones, right?
It isn't a Game of Thrones thing at all. No, it looks like it's going to be from the trailers and everything.
Oh, are I talking about the Seven Kingdoms or the something?
Oh no, yeah, I did see A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. Yeah.
Oh, so you're talking about something completely different. The Last Kingdom, I thought, was about the Crusade.
It's before that. It's about King Alfred and his son King Edward and his grandson Aethelred, and Aethelred ends up uniting England.
I thought it's really
okay. Go ahead. It could be Ethelred. No, maybe you're right. Ethelred. It's just spelled.
No, I thought it was Aethelred the Unready. I thought
that was later. Yeah, I actually traced the kings from there to Prince Charles or King Charles.
Suck. Like you have the crown on your head, you bust a nut to become the head of England, and some fucking historian says, "Oh, Ethelred the Unready,
the Unready."
Yeah, come here, grab a sword, come here.
And his son Edward the fuck up, like unbelievable. But this is my brother recommended it, and he recommended it because I watched the movie The King, which is with Timothée Chalamet, and it's basically Henry V, but it's been rewritten from the Shakespeare, and so that Falstaff lives, and he's in Henry V. That movie is unbelievably good. Can't recommend it highly enough.
Really?
Yeah, really good, really good. Henry V. So no, it's called The King. Then I watched Henry V with Kenneth Branagh, and this was all while I was still in California. We just got into this well, this was a Shakespearean play, but it doesn't seem to be following the Shakespeare. How did that go? Well, Kenneth Branagh did it, so then we watched that, and the actor Christian Bale is in it, and he's like 14 years old. He's 14. He's like he's the kid. He's this little kid, and you're like, oh my God, it's Christian Bale. But yeah, he's wonderful, and I mean, it's great. It's a really good rendition of Henry V, and then my brother said, well, if you like that, and it's Johnny Gotta Do with me. So
Johnny
whatever he recommends, I got to do it. And he said, you need to watch The Last Kingdom. I said, I started watching that, but it was just like, it was this really, really brutal first episode, really hard to get through the first episode because it's this little town.
Don't tell me.
Okay.
If you want me to watch this.
I don't know. I mean, it may be for you. It may not be for you.
That's a hell of a recommendation.
It's a mixture of like comic book pulp, swords, basically, not sorcery. Oh no, there's sorcery too. There's witches, and they handle them really well because you don't know if it's like everybody freaks out because they got a spell cast on them and then that makes them do stupid things. Yeah, I mean, most likely that's what the show is trying to show. But there is sort of there is some kind of witchiness going on, and the Vikings are basically they're plowing through the island, and the last kingdom is Wessex, and Alfred is the king of Wessex, and he's like, we're going to repel the Vikings, but it centers around this Northumbrian prince who ends up being raised by the Vikings, but then helping Alfred in Wessex. And so his role is very kind of beefcake, something for the ladies. But the interpersonal relationships and the familial relationships are amazing. And just any kind of telling of those early kings and England in that time, there's so little to go on. This was really a delight, I found. And I loved it. I loved it right up until they made the movie that they made that was about Aethelred. I didn't think that movie handled the characters quite as well as the series. The series is really well done. But that first episode, I literally had to stop watching it, go to the second episode, got a little bit better. And then eventually, just to kind of refresh my memory, I went back and finished the first episode.
Yeah, I'm just not in the...
Yeah. Well, it's Last Kingdom I found highly enjoyable. So in case anybody's out there and they're really into like England in the 800s,
Who isn't?
Who isn't?
Right. Put on your helmet, grab your sheepskin. We're going to go a Viking.
We are the Saxons, and then of course, I don't know where you go to like watch a movie about the Britons, but all of that is completely mythological, I think, because that's King Arthur, which I guess would be like 5th century, and there's pretty much nothing reliable surviving.
No, there's nothing from that time. I mean, the thing that always fascinates me, I mean, historically, is I'm always fascinated by why all of a sudden these people come out of nowhere and like blow everything up. So you have the barbarian invade, you have quote unquote barbarian invasions in Rome, 400, 500, the Huns. Okay. And then in 800, you have the Vikings. 800 AD, I think, is generally 800 to 1000.
They just, and it's interesting too, they needed land. They needed land to farm. Denmark,
but why?
Not a great farming place.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not good farming around here. I don't get on a fucking boat and go out and start killing people. But all joking aside, I'm fascinated by the Mongols. And it seems to me that what you have is you have this big, what they're finding out now is that what the evidence seems to indicate is that the Central Eurasian steppes they're very variable. There's a lot of people there. It's huge. It's enormous. Very poorly documented. Not a lot of people like go there in their Kia Soul and like park there and like look around and stuff like that. It's just this enormous stretch of grassland with people in it. And I think what happens is that periodically something happens weather-wise where like all of a sudden becomes really hard. Like maybe it's really easy to live there and people have all kinds of kids, and then it becomes really hard to live there. And you have these enormous pressures to push outwards. And that sets up a domino effect where these jerks come over the hill and take your land. So you're pissed off. So you take your sword and you go in the same direction over somebody else's land. But it's just interesting. Like, why did the Vikings wake up one day and say, look, we're going to start whacking. We're going to go to Sicily. It's like, okay, dude.
I know.
Like,
they went everywhere.
They went everywhere.
Yeah.
And same with the Mongols. The Mongols were
in Kiev. They were in Kiev. I mean, they were hired by Kiev for security. Well, that's why they were forced out of Kiev because
that's why it's called Russia. It's
because
the Rus, the red-haired ones.
Yeah.
But the one I'm fascinated by is the Mongols, which is they come out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And in like 20 years, assembled the largest land empire that mankind has ever known before or since. And at the same time, they also managed to kill like a good fraction of the population of the earth. And nobody can seem to figure out why, except they're real badasses because they didn't have a written language. So they didn't really leave much in the way of an explanation. Hey, sorry, we killed everybody here, but we were doing it because of this. They left virtually nothing behind.
I know. I know how they did it. It was yogurt.
I thought it was the recurved bow, but maybe the yogurt too. Maybe the yogurt.
No,
had
they
something
were.
to do with it.
They were lactose tolerant, and they could. They were. Most people were not at the time, and they could. They like carried like sacks of milk that turned to cheese. Like yogurt.
Oh, I'd probably shoot a lot of people too with my recurved bow.
And can you imagine the gas at the camp? Holy crap.
Oh my God. But all joking aside, I mean, it's just fascinating. Like, where do these people, the Huns, where did they come from? Why did they all of a sudden decide to, go?
Who are the Visigoths? The Visigoths have the best name, I think.
They do. They do. Yeah. But they went into Spain and then they became, that's where we get like Gonzalez and Rodriguez and all those names and stuff like that.
They're all Visigoth names.
Well, the easy, I think, means son of. So Rodriguez means son of Rodrigo, I think. I'm just
a little like the
up.
Vikings, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they're all related, but it's just a fascinating question to me because these are massive events that have changed the course of history. I mean, the Mongols completely changed the course of history. The Vikings had a massive effect. And it's just like, what makes you wake up one day and say, hey, you know what? We've been farming here for like, I don't know, 1,000 years. Let's get in these boats, go over there and just start pillaging like madmen.
Just killing everyone. And that's actually, The Last Kingdom does a really good job of showing just how incredibly terrifying they were.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And so were the Mongols, and so was everybody else. Right. because they had a special technology. They had the longboat, and the longboat was very effective because it was a shallow draft boat. You could cross like the North Sea with it. You could cross an ocean with it.
Yeah.
But you could also go up a river in it too, because it had an incredibly shallow draft. So you could go up a river really quickly, whack a town or two, and then make your getaway. So there's mobility and firepower, just like the Mongols. The Mongols were all about mobility and firepower. They had horses, and everything was the heavy cavalry archer, and they could shoot arrows upside down. They could shoot arrows facing backwards. You can read about it all the time, but it's just like, where do these people come from, and why? What motivates them to do this one day? Do they just get up from their dining table and say, "Hey, you know what? We've been doing this for like 2 millennia. How about we just go and start whacking people left and right? What do you think about that one? Let's try that out." Okay, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of facetious, but kind of not. It's just it's
well,
kind of,
somebody must have written something about why the Vikings had to expand.
I haven't found it.
Really?
And I certainly haven't found it for the Mongols. What you do learn when you study Chinese history is that a lot of Chinese history is this tension between China and the peoples to the north. So the cradle Chinese civilizations along the Yellow River, and they're always in a very uneasy relationship with the peoples to the north, because what the peoples to the north have is they have really good horses and a lot of pasture and a lot of horses and a certain easiness with like whacking people.
And yogurt. Yeah.
And they got lest I forget, they got the yogurt too. And so what you have is this situation where the early Chinese dynasties basically buy off one of these tribes. They take one of these tribes and say, "Hey, look, you're not going to raid us. You're not going to set fire to our houses. We're going to give you this amount of money. We just want you to go there and mess with the other people who would come by it." And they do that. And then inevitably what happens is that the people they bought off get powerful enough that they actually take the throne. And then they get soft, and they have to hire the next tribe, the next group of horsemen, and say, "Hey, can you go?" But then the Mongols come along, and that's a completely different song, because the Mongols are like a hydrogen bomb. But anyway, I think we've flogged this one to death. It's 6:30. So what are we doing next week? Do we have a guest scheduled?
I'm fresh out of guests. I need to.
Okay.
Well, I need to make more friends.
Well, at least you have friends. Okay, so I'm going to do a big push to do East of Eden.
Yeah, I mean, we got stuff to cover. So if you make it through, and maybe we'll postpone that episode until you finish East of Eden.
Okay.
We can do that. We've got a little backlog.
Okay. Or if you want to do Wong Kar-Wai in the meantime, pick a film by Wong Kar that you want to watch other than In the Mood for Love. And see if Adam wants to join us for that conversation, or if somebody else wants to join us.
Yeah, I'd love to have Adam back. I think there are a number of people that we might want to have back. So,
yeah, I thought the talk with Byers was great.
I love that one. Yeah, I think that's the next one that's coming up. So,
yeah, I thought that was great.
Very cool.
Okay.
All right, Lionel, I got to find the outro music here. I'm just missing.
La 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 da, I can sing it. Da, 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 da,
it just doesn't start anymore. Funny Not Funny podcast is produced by Jim Infantino. Doug says, "Thanks, guys."
You're welcome.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks for showing up.
Funny Not Funny is produced by Jim Infantino at Slab Media in Boston. Jim Infantino and Lionel Casson are the co-hosts. Our website is funnynotfunny.net. The theme music is from the song Wheel from the album Utopia Revisited by Jim. The opinions presented by the co-hosts are ridiculous and should not be taken seriously by anyone. Our intended audience is literally nobody. If you're listening to this podcast, you should probably pause to reflect on other choices you've recently made. Please do not subscribe or leave a rating or review. It only encourages us to make more. Thanks for listening.